Hi guys, welcome to Puffer Kingdom episode 11. It's been quite a roller coaster, hasn't it guys? It really has. And today is no different because we got a big update on the tank. We got new Puffers, we've got new Tankmates of a different species, we've got some interesting species of snails in there as well to talk to you guys about, new plants, and we just fed the peas. They are a little bit docile at the moment. They're kind of hiding under the roots and things like that, but we'll show you those guys in a second. So without any further ado, let's get cracking. So first off, I want to talk about new Tankmates. As you can see here, we've got Otocinclus in the tank now. If you're not sure about them, check out my top 5 possible Tankmates for Puffer Fishers video. These guys are ones that I brought in about 2-3 weeks ago. I had 4 of them. Unfortunately, 2 of them had died already within the first week, but 2 of these guys have survived and are actually doing pretty well. So it's really great to see these guys in the tank with the peas. I can honestly say the peas have shown zero interest in the Otocinclus, and I was a bit worried a little bit about them having a little nip or something like that because they're a different species, and it's well known that pea puffers can not really take to new tankmates, but they really couldn't care less about the Otocinclus. The Otocinclus is a pretty active fish. They zip around the tank, cleaning up the glass. They keep this glass spotless. They're just fantastic at cleaning up algae off the glass. They do not eat sort of blackbeard algae or anything like that, but if you've got green algae in the tank, then these guys are fantastic for it. As you can see, this guy's absolutely going for it. And we've got 2 here. We've also got in the back, see if I can get a good shot of him there. There's one eating cucumber here. See if he'll stay there for us. So I've got 2 of them left now. And they're really good additions to the tank. Like I say, the pea puffers don't bother them at all. If anything, the Otocinclus sometimes get in the way of the pea puffers zipping around. But they're fantastic little fish. Really, really interesting. See if we can get a close up here. Not too close up. There. They're kind of crazy looking fish. Really cool. Great additions. As I say, 2 out of the 4 have died already. So, as I mentioned in the previous video, I knew that it didn't really have a specifically great survival rate, so I probably won't buy any more. But I mean, if you get healthy ones, they're fantastic additions to the tank. So next up, we'll talk about 2 possibly less exciting tankmates, but still nice additions to the tank. Excuse the scratched glass. The Nearite snails. So I've got 2 of these in the tank now. And similar to the Otocinclus, the puffers don't really pay them any attention. They pretty much ignore them. Occasionally I saw one get nipped when I first put them in, but their shells cover so much of their footprint that there's not really any chance for the pea puffers to get underneath the shell to bite them. So these are really good additions to your tank with the pea puffers. Kind of too big really for the peas to think about as lunch. They may take a little nip here and there, but to be honest I've hardly seen them do it at all. And they've got beautiful colours on them as well. They're kind of like a beigey, almost yellowy green stripes with black, as you can see there. And they're really nice sort of natural looking additions to the tank, and they look like they should be in a tank with peas as well. Really good additions. The only thing I would say about these guys is they poo a lot. Now with Tankmates, I have told you probably more than on the odd occasion about poo from Tankmates. With Amano shrimp pooping a lot, but these guys really do take the biscuit. This is the right hand side of the tank, which they have not been in. See how nice and kind of clear that is. Then this is the left side of the tank where they have been. They have absolutely annihilated the left hand side of the tank. And you can see exactly the sort of areas that they've been hanging out in. They've been hanging out in the centre of this tree and all around the tree. They go right up the top as well. And this one here. And they just seem to fire off dumps every minute. It's crazy, it's absolutely crazy. I did think about getting a wave maker for more movement on the lower levels of the tank to bring it up into the filter, but I haven't really got the money for that right now, so that's a no-go. So I may actually have to take these guys back to the fish store, which is a bit annoying. But I might see how it goes, see if I can figure out a way to minimise the amount of mess they're making, if that's possible. Yeah, and then we're moving on to the plants. We've got this new, I can't remember what this one was called actually. It's like a really long grass. As you can see, it really adds quite a lot to the tank. And it looks fantastic. Kind of sweeping over across the tank there as it grows longer and longer and longer. It may well sweep across the whole tank. Got this new piece of wood as well, new spider wood. It's got lots and lots of branches coming off of it. Even the Ottocinclus quite enjoy going around this and searching for any algae they can eat. It's a nice piece there. Also, I had the Eheim filter pack up. It's about 7-8 years old now, so it's not surprising that's packed up. It's now just trickling water, so in the meantime I've now bought a Fluval U3 internal filter. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping the old filter in there for about a month and a half, so it trickles through still, so that this new filter can build up the good bacteria. So by the time that's built up the good bacteria, I can then get rid of the Eheim filter at the back and replace it with this Fluval internal U3. So as I mentioned before, these guys have just been fed for their lunch. They've had tons and tons and tons of bloodworms. As you can see, if I can get a good shot, there seems to be a camera shot now. They've had their lunch. Sorry about the glare there. Let's see if we can get a good one here. Yeah, you can see the nice round bellies on them. All right, mate, how's it going? Good, yeah? Yeah, not too bad, thanks, yeah. Very full bellies. They're pretty ravenous. And I've bought 2 more of these. So I've actually got 8 pea puffers in the tank now. And that brings me nicely onto, oh, what a lovely shot that is. That brings me nicely onto a behaviour that I'm starting to see in these puffers. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, it might have been the one before this actually, that instead of going for any pea puffers that I'm given from the store, I now choose the largest ones, the roundest ones, the healthiest looking ones essentially, so that they have the best chance of survival and thriving. And that's exactly what I've done, and it seems to be working really, really well. Now these guys are getting to the stage where they're maturing, and I'm starting to see the lines of them being males underneath the bellies, the dark lines that go underneath the bellies. So Ottocinclus just scattering away, a bit skittish, came right to the front just then. Yes, so the dark lines that go under the bellies, and the females, like this one, staying white underneath. And she actually has speckles on her as well when you get a good close-up look. If she will let us. No, she doesn't want to be on the camera today. This is BFP, one of the newer ladies. Why is everyone so shy? Come on. No, they don't want to be part of this. How sad. You're the stars of the show. So I want to show you some behaviour from these guys that I found absolutely fascinating. I realised that after they're fed in the evening, they do some schooling behaviour and they go around a tank. It's almost as if they know it's going to be nighttime and bedtime soon. They school together and go around the tank as a group. Whether that's for safety or if they're searching for more food, I don't know. But it's really fascinating to watch. And I was going to show you now a clip of that I did just after feeding them at night time. It's probably about 11 at night. And just as the lights were going out in the living room, before I turned the tank light out completely, and the living room light out together, they were doing this. So this is about probably 11 PM at night to midnight. The lights are going out in the living room, and they've had their food for dinner. And this is so interesting watching them in a big group. This is why I always advise people get a bigger tank as possible so they can have as many peas as possible in the tank. Because when you've got this many, you do see this kind of natural behaviour, which is really interesting. You see them going around in groups, you see them looking for food, and they're looking to stay safe in their groups as well as it's getting to night time. And perhaps in the wild, I suppose, they would be trying to keep out of the way of predators and such. So it's really great to see this kind of behaviour, and it's so interesting. And it's one of the many, many reasons why I love watching these guys for a long time. It's a nice little image there of the Ottocinclus eating the cucumber, and right on cue not doing as I wanted to do. If anyone knows of any ways to feed the Ottocinclus that's isn't just cucumber or courgette, let me know, because I'm trying to learn a bit more about the feeding of these guys to make sure they're healthy and give them plump stomachs. So if anyone's got any advice on that, do let me know, please. Thank you. Lastly, just before I say goodbye to you guys, I just wanted to show you the latest pond snail breeding tank that I've got. Now, I talked about how I was worried that it'd be a little bit too expensive to breed snails, like putting them in like a new tank, getting it set up, all that kind of stuff. But as long as you have a tank and you're able to put fresh water into it, probably twice, maybe 3 times a week to make sure the ammonia doesn't build up. It's very simple to keep these guys, very simple to breed, and they do it all themselves. You want to overfeed this tank, as I've mentioned before. But this one is a new tank, just because as I was walking back home from work, someone literally had this on their doorstep to throw away. It was old, it was scrappy, it was dirty, so I brought it home. scrubbed it right back up to how it should be, nice and clean. And now I've got these guys breeding in here. And you can see, hopefully, if I can get in on the eggs there, these little kind of blurry marks here on the left hand side of that brown leaf and just below it are the egg sacs. So these are the guys that are going to go into baby snails and will be fed into a pea puffer tank. So that was an update on the snail tank situation, and I put a few more of these snails in the tank just now for feeding. They're not breeding quite as quick as I'd like them to, so I just put a few in every so often. And that is what I'm doing for the snacks. These guys are being so sassy today. As soon as I get near the front of the tank, they zoom to the back, but now taking just a couple of feet back, they're just cruising around, mooching about, having their big lunch. They're just kind of chilling out now. But yeah, that's been episode 11 of Pea Puffer Kingdom. Just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that has subscribed so far. We've got over 150 subscribers, which is mental for a Pea Puffer only YouTube channel, which is so cool. So thank you everyone that's doing that. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like and comment if you'd like to. That'd be fantastic as well. Spread the word about this channel. And yeah, look forward to doing another video for next month. We'll do a bit more feeding. We'll probably show feeding with the cone or bloodworms next time, and have a bit more action of that kind. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned next month.